All right, good afternoon, families. Welcome back to session 2 of these 100% completely optional, totally just going to be review classroom sessions, I guess. Not classroom sessions, just review sessions. That's what they are. They're totally optional. I appreciate you guys watching. What I want to do is go over the stuff from yesterday, and you can check your work and see how you did, and then we'll get into the stuff for today. So here we go right away. Let's start with our addition problem. We're going to make sure that we add up all of our ones first. And right away, I can see that we've got, oh, cancel it, sorry. We've got sorry, it's on the wrong layer there. We've got a 12 and a 6. 6 and 2 make 8. So 12 and 8 is 20. So the 0 goes down there, and we'll bring the 2 over the top of the tens place. Now what we've got here is we have 5, and we've got 17. 17 and then 5 more. You can do 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 if you want to. That works great. So we'll go 20, 22 like that. And then we got our hundreds here. And so that's going to be 320. So I hope you got that one. Hope that wasn't too much trouble. Let's check out the subtraction problem now. So in the example, I didn't have to do any regrouping in the ones place or borrowing in the ones place. On this one, I am going to have to, because if I break this up here into my ones and tens, I got my tens over here, my 80 tens, and my 15 tens. But over here, I've got my 6 ones minus 8 ones. Now, if I have 6 ones, I need to borrow from the neighbor next door because I don't have enough stuff. So what I like to do, and this is a little different, what I like to do is I like to think of this as one whole group of tens. So I'm doing 80 minus 15, but I need some ones over here to borrow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to borrow from the 80, the whole thing. Now, we have 80 tens over here. We just take one less from that. So that leaves us with 79 tens. And now we've got 16. 16 minus 8 is 8. Now the nice thing is that when you solve the ones place, you can ignore it. You can just literally cover it up with your hand. And now we've got 79 minus 15. And what's nice about the 0 being here is when you take 1 away from it, you always get a 9 in the top. So you won't have to borrow in the tens. So we go 9 minus 5 is 4. And 7 minus 1 is 6. So 648. I hope you got the same answers. Hope I did it right too, because doing this on the spot, I don't practice these beforehand. All right, so there's your math from yesterday. Let's go down to the ownership ones, or the ownership and the UR ones with your, let's see how we did on that one. So on this one, it says, you're getting some time to practice your skills. So here, I can insert the words you are. So that means I can use this kind of your. You're getting some time to practice your skills, Y-O-U-R here, because these skills belong to you. Your skills will need to stay sharp. Again, so that's an ownership. Your skills will need to stay sharp. So when we come back, you're ready to do your best. So this kind of your is going to be a you are. So it makes sense to say you are ready to do your best. So we'll say Y-O-U apostrophe R-E. You're ready to do your best. Y-O-U-R, just like that. Okay. So I hope you did okay with that. I hope you were able to get through those without too much trouble. I'd like to move away from that and get into some kind of arithmetic here today. What I want to talk to you about is, you notice these problems are the same, is I want to talk to you about rounding a little bit and have us review that with subtraction. We're going to round to the tens. Oops, I'm in the wrong layers again. There we go. You want to round to the tens, and then later on we'll round to the hundreds. So let's round to the tens. When you round to the tens, you are focused on finding a number that's easy to add and subtract. And usually what that means is it's a number that ends in 0. So it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. That's what the tens are. So 10, 20, 30, whoops, 30, 40, 50, on and on, okay? So when you're dealing with a number like 625 to the nearest 10, well, that means that this number needs to be a number that's to the nearest 10. So I want you to think about what would be the nearest 10 for this one. Okay, so for example, if I had 365, how many days are there in a year? I would look at the 65 here and I would think, okay, 65 is really close to a 10 that I can count to. Now this dot and arrow thing, this tells me I need to stay focused. I'm in the tens place and I'm going to look at this number here. If this number is 5 or higher, that means that this 65 will round to the 10 that's above it. So that would make this round to 370. However, if we have, say, 352, we're still rounding to the tens. So we're rounding in the tens, we're looking at this guy here. This one is a 2. So this is below 5. So it's a 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. So that tells us that we're going to round to the 10 that is below 52. Now sometimes students will round all the way to 40, but we don't want that. We want to stop at 50 because you can count by tens and get to 50. You'll notice the hundreds don't change each time. The hundreds stay the same. But if we're dealing with rounding to the nearest hundreds, we'll use 365 again. For rounding to the nearest 100, it's the same idea. That means that our answer is going to be something that goes 100, 200, 300, and so on and so forth, okay? When you round to the nearest hundreds, you think, does my answer sound like the word 100? Is that all it does? If the answer is yes, then you've probably done it right. So let's see here. We're rounding to the nearest 100 here. We're looking at this number here. This tells us whether or not we round up to the next 100 or if we round down to the 100 that we're currently in. In this case, it's a 6. 6 is more than 5. So that means that 365 rounds to 400. Okay. Now if we do 352 again, okay, let's look at this. Okay, this is also a 5 or higher. So again, 352 rounds to 400 as well. Now there are going to be people who say, 352 is really close to just 350. So why don't we just call it 350 instead? You can do that on some things. It just depends on what the task is. So what I'd like you to try is 625 minus 178. What I want you to do first, though, is I want you to round both of these numbers to the nearest 10. 625 rounds to what to the nearest 10? 178 rounds to what to the nearest 10? And then I want you to do the exact same problem, but I want you to round to the nearest 100. Okay, 625, what's the nearest 100? 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, all the way up. Okay, and then same thing with 178. You might get, I don't know what the answer is, guys. You might get different answers. You might get the same answers for both of these. I'm not sure. I didn't test these out ahead of time. I guess I should have. Okay, that's your arithmetic for the day. For your sentences, we're going to be doing some more homophones. This time we're looking at the 3 theirs. We've got this kind of there, the first one here, T-H-E-R-E, which you can always remember which one it is because it's got the word here hidden inside of it. I'm going to zoom in on that for you maybe. You got the word here hidden inside of it. So it's like it's over there, like it's a location. It's here, it's there. It's here, it's there. This there means ownership. Like that's their ball, that's their car, that's their hat. Okay? This one is like the your from yesterday. It's a contraction. It's a contraction of they and are. So if you have they are, you can say there. They are is there. All right? So here's your sentences. Or actually, it's just one sentence, 2 sentences in one problem. It says there are many ways students can use these in their writing. They're going to need to be careful with their sentences when they're writing their future essays. So I tried to make it so that we were able to use all three theirs. So all three of them should pop up in this little couple of sentences here. Give it your best shot. Again, this is all review. This is 100% optional. There is no requirement that you do this for school at all. I'm just trying to build up a little practice and review, something that you can do on a daily or semi-daily basis. Feel free to email me if you're one of my current students with any questions, or if you just want to say hi. I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, I hope you're having a good time at home. You're staying safe and healthy and all that good stuff. So I'll catch you guys later with the answers in our next session. See ya.